Oh, you were made for this, weren't you? Ladies and gentlemen, sure you were, because you were made for the LPL. You're made to enjoy, sit back, relax, and take a quick look at all the wonders that Shanghai can offer. Of course, that's where we are, folks. Welcome back. My name's Shaker Seric. This is Clement Chu. BLG just not smacked. They slowly progressed as a snail would. A very fast snail towards the exit of V5. And they're up a game. And let me just tell you that the Olaf deserves MVP because Meteor has just shocked our screens again. Another Olaf Clement. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, just great performance. 7 kills so far. Warriors Olaf has the correct hand gesture. And he's also he's a good ping pong player, by the way. National ping pong player.
Yeah.
25% damage like you're talking about. Damn, that's so high. And we've seen Olaf just run across the map. Great clear speed. Cannot be crowd controlled. So CC compositions don't really work against him. If you have short range AD carry, he's also going to be the bane of your life. I'm telling all of these teams out there, I know Olaf is not a big pick in the LCS yet, only one selected so far, but Olaf is the jungle of the meta right now.
Olaf has been picked or banned 100% of the time in the LPL so far, Clement.
That is true. We've even seen teams starting to move Olaf top. The jungle position is so pinched in this meta. You have Olaf as the clear #1 favorite, and I think
remember,
under that.
Sorry to interrupt. We don't play Sejuani here in the LPL.
Nope.
Over in the LCS, of course, you know, you see a lot of Sejuani from your likes of XSmithy, from your likes of, you know, whoever, right?
Too slow.
Too slow.
Too slow.
That's right. That's right. You know, we're not playing Sejuani here. So it is the faster junglers, as you said. And that pinch goes where else, Clement? Like Olaf, who else?
Olaf is clear favorite #1. I think underneath that, you have the likes of Jarvan and Elise. They're pretty similar. Elise has a large amount of buffs this split this season. Her pets do more damage. She clears faster. Runic Echo has gotten a discount in the recent patches as well. So Elise is going to be a huge priority. She's going to be always selected if you have those early game compositions. We're seeing that with the Renekton and the Jaces in the top lane. Great tower diving potential.
Yeah. And
then downwards, Lee Sin is still a good champion to select. He's pretty equal in all phases, is one of those few junglers that has a pretty consistent level 2 gank, and I think what we're going to see a lot more of is actually the Kindred pick. Now, Kindred has traditionally been this counter to the Olaf. You can dodge out on the undertows, you scale later into the game, and you have that windows where you do take over.
And also remember that there's just so much damage that comes out. You can contest for those scuttles at 315 when her first mark now spawns. But onward and upward, I guess we should say, because for V5, yes, they are going to be taking a roster change. We'll look at that as we get closer in the game. Mole will be subbing out, and we'll be bringing Wendy in. My lord, I didn't think it would be that hard. So Wendy will be coming through and, you know, blowing us down, hopefully. We'll see what happens, because the mage pick we need to talk about in the mid lane for Mole. Clement, I know you did not like that.
Nope.
So tell me why, sir.
You never get priority on Talia. In fact, a lot of people counter Talia with Karma. So walking into that matchup felt wrong to me. And in the game, you could see never a proactive Weaver's Wall, always behind in the lane push. Also the Sivir there to keep him down as well, which was very smart by BLG's part. You don't have an ultimate. Talia falls apart as a champion. She doesn't get ahead, and a later game she almost doesn't even out damage the Karma as well.
And does nothing to the Olaf at level 6 as well, because you can't shove him. You just got to poke him.
So I really don't know why they were selecting Talia in that composition. I hope Wendy has a better champion pool. This will be his debut in the LPL. Was a part of the 87 team that we were talking about, V5's Academy squad, but we don't really know what to expect of him so far. We have checked it a little bit. He does play most of the meta champions, like the Silases, like the Akalis, so he should be solid on that front, but we're not exactly sure about his style. V5 seems to be confident in it.
Maybe they can play more around the flexes. If you're talking about Silas, that's already one of the top tier flexes that we haven't really seen fall through pick and ban. We talked about Aatrox already, which just fell its way through, and I don't think that'll be given up by V5 again. But there's other flexes on the board, the Aurelia. I mean, Vladimir, even in the LPL, we still talk about. What else am I missing? Jace, of course. Akali, which was left through. So I'm assuming that this is going to be the game that we see, you know, a bit more play around the flex potential for both V5 and BLG, because V5 will be on the blue side. So swapping things around.
So the big 6 flex picks we're talking about, and they're all over the place right now.
I see, you wrote them there.
Ryze, Akali, Aatrox, Jace, Silas, and Aurelia. Now, there's very few teams that actually play all of these champions in both solo lanes, but if they do, it's such a huge boon to your drafting potential. You can go anywhere, and you're thinking about it, that's 6 bans that people have to take away from you if they ever want to go that side. What we've been seeing out of this is actually because there's so many of these, the red side has been doing very well in our draft so far. What we've been seeing is that red side actually has a 66% win rate over the blue side. There's a lot of times, a lot of these picks are going to slip through despite your best intentions to keep them out. Now, for the blue side strategy, we've seen what works and what doesn't work. What doesn't work is Sylas first pick. Sylas first pick and Rek'Sai first pick have been absolutely abysmal. People have been starting to figure Sylas is a champion that does need a little bit of a snowball. He can go in, but he can't come out. So if you're very weak when you go in, he kind of falls apart. The first pick that has been working well has been the Olaf. If you just nag down Olaf first pick, it's completely fine. You don't need to worry about counter picks.
Well, I know you don't like it, but the Nautilus first pick has still been fine as well to a degree. True. Nautilus at the moment, you know, kind of butting heads as the new support that's just taking priority. We've moved from Nautilus mid lane, which I know if it was still in meta, Kuro would probably play.
It is still in meta.
If it was still in LPL meta.
Xiaohu's been practicing a lot.
Has he actually?
Yeah, we've seen it on a solo queue. So we definitely know it's in meta, and Nautilus has been known as like
competitive meta. I mean, that's a more question mark, as we did see it in MSI, not as much as we thought. But the support of the year, apparently, is Mr. Nautilus himself, or the split, rather. So I'm excited to see the prospect and how that gets matched with better AD carries.
A very important thing about why Nautilus is so strong in the meta at this point is the pairing potential with Kai'Sa. And this is a pairing that we don't actually see in the rest of the LCS, but LPL plays it a ton. It's just, you have so much early damage. Nautilus level 1 gives you 2 plasma stacks with the staggering blow and the dredge line, and then Kai'Sa can just... She has a free level 1, level 2, basically. You cannot trade with that combination. Nautilus also has the extra 20 points of damage on his Q in the recent buff, the extra CC duration. So a very strong combination, and that hidden flex potential that I know a lot of teams are holding on to is why we see him early.
So maybe if you are talking about it still being in the meta, Clement, then something I could maybe look forward to, and I'm using a lot of words like maybe, potentially, because we still don't know what's going to happen, but as we enter the stage once again for V5, Wendy will be joining us, so let's see what happens here, because a big substitution in game number 2, considering they didn't like what Mole brought. Now it's on to Mr. 87. I was going to say Mr. 87 himself, probably not, but LDL mid laner coming up into the LPL for his debut.
87 is a mysterious number in Mandarin. It either means stands for boldness, or it also has the same pronunciation as idiot. So
oh, really?
It's a bit of a fun meme you can have with, depending on which way you go.
Okay, so Clement.
What?
Wendy's a mid laner.
What?
I have a sheet of paper on the floor that says Wendy's a mid laner.
He's registered as
a mid laner.
Yes, as a mid laner.
You know what? Let's take Alia's out, even though I think he played okay.
Mole's like, you guys thought I was substituted. Nah, I did fine there.
Hello to Wendy. So he's going to be playing top. So even less we know about his top lane performance.
Okay, that's a interesting pick there. But there has been a couple swaps. Max previously was actually an AD carry as well. So when you come on to the LPL, there's always a chance to reinvent yourself. And in today's meta, I don't think it's that much of a detriment. He's going to bring that Sylas. He's going to bring that Akali to the top lane.
Before, you do now. Because that's all you can take it at the top lane as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Mole's just wondering, oh, I thought I was going to get swapped down.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing happened.
Okay. So this is curious because, like we said, Wendy's going to have to shake some heads. Yeah, cheeky little devil. Yeah, have a smile because, yeah, we're not sure what's going on either. It's going to be V5 on the blue side coming into game 2. Oh, wake up. What's going on? All right, let's crunch it. Clement, game 2.
BLG always has a sleepy mid laner. Yeah. Athena was known as a sleepy mid laner. Kuro always yawns when he's on camera.
Yeah, he does. Naturally. And, you know, you see, you want to feel like I yawn myself. Not even tired. It's because if you don't, you're not empathetic. Anyway, how am I going to see this game? Well, I'm not going to give any empathy over. V5 on blue side now, big chance to disrupt the flow. And we talked about the win side on red side. Win side.
Yeah, the win selection, the win rate, sorry,
took you there.
On red side has been extremely high in this meta. I think a lot of teams are still adapting to the new patch. A lot of mistakes on blue side happening. Sylas, Rek'Sai have been have been absolutely terrible, if you want my honest opinion.
Yep.
So we have to pay close attention to the flexes like we were talking about. I think Akali's still 100% win rate so far in the LPL. She's the big one that I'm going to have my eyes open for. And in terms of the rest of the picks, let's see. Which one is still on board? Silas is still there.
I mean, or do you go for something like you're talking about with the Olaf first pick on blue side here for V5? Ben 4 can play it. Your Silas you talked about. Clement,
no,
you don't like
please.
a blue side first pick.
Don't do it.
And look at what you give away to BLG.
So what we've been seeing happening is if a team first locks in Silas, the enemy team takes Olaf, and it's not strong enough for Rek'Sai Silas to really snowball the game forward.
Yeah.
That's what happens so far. The 2v2 is still in the favor of the team that has Olaf. Silas is kept down, and when it comes to team fight, an even footing Silas doesn't have that much of an advantage. We're seeing that play out right now. We don't have that much data, to be honest. It's only 15 games, but we've seen it play out so many times, and Silas has just not been working out.
You also give over something like the Sivir, which has just been slammed down for Jinjiao. Looks like they will leave the Nautilus open for V5 again, but wasn't too much of a detriment for them last time. Wendy instead looks like we're going to see a similar playstyle come out of the new top laner of V5.
Silas and Nico can still swap around, but I don't think the Nico's going to have a good time when Olaf is running around. V5 also cannot ban out the Yuumi this time. If BLG want the Yuumi, it's completely free. We've said this composition was probably the most dangerous running down composition ever. You get the zoomies onto Olaf. He's can't be crowd controlled. He's running 160 miles at you, like 60 miles an hour at you. I'm more familiar with the kilometer sense, so probably a little bit too high.
I mean, you say it, Clement. I'll tell you that miles into kilometers, it's like 250, isn't it?
Yeah, just way too fast of a composition. So on the draft right now, I don't see what V5 wants to do. It's once again all over the place. Maybe they're thinking Crescent Guard can at least
ban out ADD. I mean, that's the way to go. They've taken the Sion already, and meanwhile BLG just start cornerstoning around Y4 and Max, who still don't have their champions. You're looking at a Kalista ban, Alistar as well. Hard engage into Yuumi is what they want, but they've left the Nautilus open. So not too concerned as what has been described as one of the biggest Yuumi counters in the game right now.
Yeah, the Nautilus does give you a lot of opportunities to simply kill the AD carry during laning phase. That's what I think the V5 draft can look forward to. But talking about the Jinjiao, we haven't seen him in meta for quite a while. I think the way they're going for the reason they're going for something as extreme as the Jinjiao is to lock down the mid lane matchup. They need to snowball Silas's head. I've been talking about the draft trend so far. First pick Silas, not strong enough to burst through the opponent Olaf and really get the Silas ahead. So you have to go with something a little bit more extreme like the Jinjiao. He's a champion that has a few levels where he does well against the Olaf, but afterwards Olaf's going to be able to chase him down. That's quite a risky one. So we have to see Mole, we have to see Ben 4 really work on that 2v2.
Maybe it's about what you pair with it in this composition, and we're back to the Lucian here for Y4. Good start to game number 1, but failed to continue rising off the ground. And like I said before, it's what you pair with it, and that Nautilus is still a knockin'. Max played it in game 1. I don't see any reason, Clement, that you wouldn't see it again, or do it. Other Max from MVP would be so proud of you.
Come on. Let's get the Mad
Oh
Max.
my god, they're the same. No. Oh, I'm so upset at you.
Yeah. The Nautilus it's a stock standard answer. I don't think the Blitzcrank actually works any better, but it's hype.
Oh, Blitzcrank is great against Yuumi. Someone's dying. That's literally all that he does.
It's
Someone
pretty much
dies.
the same. Like, if
against
Sivir can spell shield, you're not supposed to get anyone.
Yeah.
BLG gonna go for the ADDs.
Speciality.
Yeah.
I like
game
this.
plank, it's so dangerous because if you're thinking about how this composition works, you get hit by the 50% slow.
Yeah.
The rest of the team follows up. It's so deadly. It does very well with the composition. And V5, once again, all of their chips is in that mid jungle.
Oh, Clement, I like this. I like this a lot out of V5 at the start. Now, I know you don't like blue side Silas, so I'm just going to start by saying that I like the flex potential that was there the whole time. You didn't know where the Nico was going. You didn't know where the Silas was going.
Oh, I knew.
2, 1. All right, you knew. maybe it was second guessed by BLG, but it doesn't matter. It is going to be the style split in the end. But the gangplank into the top lane for ADD. Now, this man had a stellar game number 1. And in game 2, seeing something like the GP that resembles, you know, the carry potential of someone, even more so than Kled, you know, the Poppy that we've seen in the past. A very different champion, yes, but on ADD's hands, in them rather, I like the way this champion looks.
It's a fine matchup against Nico. You're not going to land the explosive cast that often, but just trading Parlay for Qs is fine. She can't crowd control you anyway. So I like it. I like the idea of just helping out the run you down meta. Once again, BLG has drafted such a cohesive composition. Yep. From top to down, you can understand what they're trying to do. Catch people, play the 5v5. But on the other hand, V5, they walk themselves into this very narrow alleyway. It's just, there's one thing you have to do, and everything is riding on Ben 4. But I don't think it's going to work because BLG's composition is going to have to level 1. No team in the LPL so far has said, hey, let's fight the level 1 against Undertow with Yuumi and Sivir. Let's try that.
And Karma as well has a nuke at level 1.
So the Jinjiao is going to have his first clear rotation completely read out. They're going to know where Jinjiao is for the first 3 minutes of the game.
I bet, Clement, let's just see how they play it. Because first of all, V5, unexpected performance coming into the split. And although they lost game number 1 against LGD, even against BLG now, they look competitive. So let's see if they can push it to another margin as we enter game 2 here and see ADD on the profound gangplank in the top lane against the debut performance of Wendy now on V5.
What I want to see from V5, maybe, is do a cheeky level 1. Okay, they just do avoidance strategies. I'm sorry.
I know you're buying into it, Clement. It's okay. I know you're buying into it.
They did what every single team does, which is just give up your bottom side.
Yep.
I don't blame them, but I don't think they're getting a valuable trade here. For this, Kuro can just play toward the bottom side of the map. He's going to be completely safe. You're not going to gank him on the Jinjiao.
But you start the vertical jungling, Clement. So we begin in vertical jungling with the bottom lane of Lucian, Nautilus. This could be very punishing. Malta's dodge away from the solar nuke from Kuro at level 1, or the winter side nuke. And that's going to be a big trade as Ben 4 has just walked in the lane. Howdly doodly, he says. Flash away, mate. Yeah, that's right.
All right. That was not supposed to happen. Just let me say that. 100% Ben 4 was coming from your red buff. I don't understand why Kuro was caught out by that. That was that changes things quite a bit. That actually allows the mid jungle to start operating.
You already burnt him down a little bit as well. Kuro does have teleport for this lane, much like Mole, but if you get that burned away early, the potential of getting ahead in this lane starts. That's not the case for the bottom lane for V5, as people say, oh, Yuumi's underpowered. Clement, let me tell you one thing. This champion is bonkers at the moment, and XinMo showing that early on with the Comet being taken into the bottom lane.
Great win rate so far. Taking a look at the drafts, we have pretty much a standard across the board. Outside of that, Conqueror Jinjiao is going to give him a lot more of a fighting chance against Olaf.
Yeah.
If you're trading auto attacks, you don't have Conqueror, you're just not going to win. A lot of times we see more gank-oriented, going for the Hail of Blades, or maybe even the phase rush as well for Jinjiao, but he's preparing for some potential conflict with the Olaf. He's going to buff up his 1v1 strength.
Speaking of a new strength though in the top lane, AD is getting bullied out early from Wendy. Not a bad start to the Nico in the top side here. Meteor is on this side now though, so curious to see where that takes him as Mole just walked on up, looking to clear some vision, but Meteor has no intention of going any further top side and just looking to leave Kuro on a bit of an island.
This is perfectly fine for Kuro as long as he has his wave close by. Doesn't get hit up by Ben anymore. Plays to the right side of his lane. He should be completely fine. And just looking at his items, you do have the Gathering Storm.
Also left ADD on an island as he gets tangle barbed in. Waiting to pop on down with a bit of Stardust as AD is super low. Ben 4 flashes in, tries to point and click him. He can't. You send a Starburst over the top and Wendy gets first blood.
And this was a counter pick selected by BLG. They thought that the game plank would be fine, but just taking too many auto attacks from Wendy. Playing this lane so well.
Different start here in game number 2 as they've gone to the front foot, now onto the back foot in the mid lane. Mole burns the flash out of respect as Meteor shows his face.
So if this strategy does work out for V5, if the top lane at least does manage to work out, then they can get a split push. And a split push is something that will force BLG to have difficulties in finding their targets. They want to stay grouped up, and if V5 can get the 4-1 going, maybe that is what they need to break the strategy.
Yeah. A good early start, one that I'll comment on a little bit later, because for BLG, this invade is so cheeky. Ben 4, which way does he path, though? It looks like bottom side. No, he's coming. XinMo, attach. No, oh, Cat. Literally out of the bag! No! No! Yuumi, no! XinMo, oh dear, that sucks! V5 just got a freebie, and now Meteor has to flash over the wall as well. XinMo, just stay on someone.
You and me was off cooldown. It's actually a very high cooldown early on, level 1.
It's only 6 seconds, Clement. What do you mean 15 seconds?
If you hop up yourself,
if you hop off yourself,
yeah, if you hop up yourself, it's actually much higher. So he couldn't get back, or he could have avoided the damage right there. Unfortunate situation, just bad timing. That was a 2v2 they could have won, but just didn't play it as well.
Oh, that's sad when you see Yuumi die, even if it's cooldown.
I think it's only 10, sorry, excuse me.
It doesn't matter. It was sad.
Yeah.
It was very sad. XinMo going down. Looks like a bit of fairy floss in the wind, just disintegrates. If you've ever thrown fairy floss in the wind, let me know what that's like, because that was kind of a guess of mine, so not too happy about that. But you got level 5 now on the bottom lane in Jinjiao. You got a bit of solo farm under his belt while that was happening, but the big part of that was that Ben 4 actually picked up a kill.
That is massive. Like, that actually gives him a very good chance of just handling this Olaf by himself. Ooh, good spell shield.
Stops the dredge line. That's the most important part. And when we talked about the Nautilus being a big counter to the Yuumi lane, and Ben 4 walks down here with the added pressure already. Looks like the Mountain Dragon could be taken. Remember that cannon barrage? You heard it in the back of your ear. ADD used the ultimate, so there's not going to be any global pressure unless he teleports in, but Meteor's into the fight first. Y4 getting dangerously lured. Kuro comes in for the flank. Ben 4 getting low himself, but Meteor drops first. It's jungler for jungler as BLG don't have the health advantage. Yuumi doesn't jump to someone else. It's not good from XinMo. Jinjiao gets flashed on himself after using one of himself, but Kuro, you hero, man! You absolute Anzac! 3 kills for him. He picks up the triple.
What a smart play from Jinjiao. He dodges into the tri-brush. There's a moment of hesitation coming in from Y4. He goes up as well, but can't find the auto attacks and is just sniped out by Kuro.
That was fantastic. Kuro just showing his prowess again.
Oh boy, look at that 3-0-0 Kuro. Unstoppable Olaf, here I come. With that Fiends, he's going to be able to give an extra 250 points of shields on that Olaf charging you down.
If Meteor's not ahead, Kuro is. It started off this of what thought was a bad fight for V5.
Yeah, what went very well for BLG at the start of that fight is that they took so much HP from Y4 at the start, so they were actually coming in with a sizable advantage, and Mole, I'm not sure that's the best ultimate you could have taken. Actually doesn't do much in that entire fight. He couldn't take the karma, but maybe he just leveled up during that fight. I think the ideal situation would be taking the Ragnarok for the...
Either way.
Yeah, or taking the Yuumi, actually.
I think at this point, speak of the devil, hello Ragnarok. Which one he's asking?
Wendy?
It's going to be this one, the Tangle Barb onto Kuro. Remember, that's a defensive item built, doesn't matter. Nuke still comes through, and now Meteor gets the kill. If he wasn't ahead before, he sure is now.
Oh, that's gotta hurt for Wendy. He was doing so fine in his own lane. Wanders out to river, finds the Olaf and the Karma nearby.
ADD gets some time to farm, and Clement, at the start of this game, we talked a little bit about the jungle pressure for V5, how slim that margin would be. For BLG, keeping up at this point, even after V5 get the Mountain Dragon, is good news for them. And they've set themselves up with a late game fight again for V5. So much pick potential there, but they've got to get it started once again off the back of Ben 4.
And V5, once again, find themselves in a very difficult situation. Nico is not a champion you want to play with on the weak side of the map. This is smart, but he's still not going to touch that minion wave.
The bullying starts. ADD Getting free farm as a gangplank. Yes, look at how perfect that is. Oh my god, the balloons! That feels great. Give him 80 gold as well. And that gangplank's ahead. I can tell you that without even seeing the gold.
I don't even need to go to a shrink. I just need to watch that. Makes my day. I feel so happy there.
Makes your mind day. Very well said.
Greedy pirate just counting all your gold coins and your
good,
gold bags.
That V5 are trading off in the bottom lane. You got to demolish on the Nautilus, and you're going to get 2 plates here for V5. I might even try for 3, so this is a worthy trade for the bottom lane.
This is a fun one. Mold still has his splash. He should still be fine here.
Worthy the right word to use. Jinjiao caught underneath his turret. He comes back in. Culling's there as well. XinMo detaches, but he's going to die as well. All they need is a couple of autos, but Y4 gets traded off. Cat picks up 1, but 2 for 1 here for V5.
There's a lot of question mark pings going down. They're trying to find Nautilus, but he's going to get out.
Where is he? Mad Max again. He's on the road.
Yeah, that's the Fury road for Max.
Movies, man. He's out of there.
Good man right there. Does dodge out. AD carry dies, but I think both teams right there made the same mistakes. Yuumi, Nico, not the greatest champions to be on your weak side. Can't do a lot individually. If you just chase down the Sivir, Yuumi pretty much has to die along with him.
We got a 33% win rate after 3 games of Yuumi here in the LPL. We've definitely seen the weak side of Yuumi and what can happen when she gets caught unawares. XinMo at the moment 1, 3, and 3. Not the ideal start. However, you look over to the other side and Max has been pretty ideal in these turret dives and this bottom lane pressure that Benfall's been trying to add, but Meteor is elsewhere. To the mid lane, they once again force out the Flash of Mole. The exact same situation here from Kuro and Meteor, still harboring around the dangerous side of mid.
Just too easy coming in from BLG. You know what sucks about this 2v2 mid jungle for Mole?
What?
There's no ultimates to steal.
That's true.
He's like, what do I actually take here?
Get a nice Inspire. V5 offering here again. Prowling Projectile. They're just trying to burn out Y4. If they can keep the minion wave away, it'll happen. But BLG teleports there, albeit late. Final chapter underneath. Turret locks down 2, 3. Mole in the end as well. That's the good Prowling Projectile too. They turn it back around. Mole. He's got 1 himself. Doesn't even have a book. Perfect from V5. Good trade across the board. They'll continue to push this turret.
And there's not going to be anything taken here by V5. BLG have the teleport almost up on Jinjiao as well. And they take the Herald in the meantime. I'm sorry, they drop the Herald in the meantime. Yep. Completely undefended at this pace. A clear win for BLG, even though they their bot lane has to sacrifice a little bit, they make up for it.
And Meteor's going to get all that gold. That's 320 to the Olaf, which Cinderhulk Olaf, I'd say, yep, that's not bad. Warriors Olaf, I say, that's amazing. Teleporting in, Meteor, fight him. You chicken. It's only Y4, but of course you already got the turret you got out. That's all you need to do. BLG ahead in the gold lead, albeit not too much.
We're going to see a sad Silas this game, but ADD, are you Captain
He's getting the bottom lane treatment. He's definitely not. Jack Sparrow would get out of this one. I tell you what, he ain't no Zoom in this situation. ADD gets a barrel just for good measure. And another kill over to the 3-1-4 Jinjiao.
Ooh, so this is an interesting one because both Meteor and Jinjiao at this point, Ben 4, have a lot of gold in their pockets. I want to see what the head-to-head actually looks like when these 2 junglers inevitably have to stand up. There's not a lot of players playing Jinjiao right now. Yeah. You don't have those scuttles to fight over, and the Q buff I don't think was enough to keep him in tier 1 of the junglers. This is a pick that, you know, it's great early, has very strong dueling potential, but you do need to make use of it. Doesn't do that well in CC-heavy fights.
Really doesn't. We'll take stock because there's warriors on both as turrets drop down, and it looks like a nice little trade across the board. We have some time to look at those 1-item power spikes and see who it favors here in Game 2. Trinity Force on the gangplank. We already had the hose on Wendy, so both top laners matching as the gold comes up. But you can see, of course, Kuro's ahead. The bottom lane is ahead on the side of V5. And in the jungle, it's quite even. So at this point, you're saying, all right, Kuro is playing the supportive role. 2 items just about as they're going to untoggle in 3, 2, 1. I have no communication with the Chinese side, but that's okay. There we go. 2 items.
It was close enough. It was close.
2 items. Even though he's behind in CS, it doesn't matter. And BLG, with that added pressure, with the ability of Ardent Sensor.
BLG could fight this.
Ooh, I thought they were going to back away straight into the final chapter. That locks down 1, 2 with the Silas. He can't pick up an ulti himself. Prowling projectile slow, but that's the fake Wendy as the Cannon Barrage is zoning the way. There we go. Pop Blossom flushed away from Wendy. Had the right idea. The wrong execution? I don't think so. That's triple summoners.
Yeah, wrong idea for Kuro. Actually goes onto the wrong side of the fight. Gets picked up by V5. Even though BLG get the initial kill, V5 are able to answer back quite well. I really like the staggering use of AoE ultimates there to just break apart the compositions. Y4 did a very good calling onto the back line of BLG, forcing them back for a while. And Kuro misjudged the fighting situation. They thought they could just go in and mop up the rest of the fight, but V5 had a lot of good fight there.
And he's so squishy. Remember that Kuro, the Karma, it's not by any means a tanky build. Hello!
Oh, is that MVP already?
No.
Is that predictions?
Alright, but we're in the moment here. What happened in this fight?
So 2 ultimates to force out the first kill. It looks good right here, but Wendy able to force out the entire BLG composition, and then the real Wendy goes in.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a lot of good crowd control by the Nico, and BLG misread the communications in their own team. Kuro goes in, the rest of the team goes back. Kuro is isolated. V5 pick him up.
But the part of misreading was definitely seeing Wendy coming. Triple flash burn. Very underestimated in that fight. Is now comfortable in this lane, or rather still is. ADD's starting to pop out some damage, but Wendy slowly knocking away on this turret. While the rest of V5 are heading towards the top side. Look at the vision control they've obtained up towards red here. So deep into enemy territory, there is nowhere they can't see at the moment, and contesting a team like BLG's vision is very admirable. Oh, I don't think he's dead. Wait.
It's fine, he's fine.
Okay, I don't think he's dead. ADD, just run for your life.
Call.
But a lot of damage coming out of Ben Ford with the Phage now in inventory.
Key thing here for V5, they're just trying to transfer all that gold onto Silas, get him finally going. If you want to play against a BLG composition like this, it's great to have some split pushers. Bring the 1-3-1 open. If BLG use all their ultimates and kills one lane, you're going to get something on the other lane. So that's a very sound strategy for V5 going towards
Let's bring that up, because V5 are still going with this inner track turret. We said once again that V5 need to force the issue. Well, that's them doing this right now. And ADD just doesn't stand there and watch while BLG look at the play in the bottom lane. Wendy comes down with the Pop Blossom on the 3 members. The final chapter will lock him down. Can he outplay this? No. Ragnarok makes it so. And with 3-4 members technically down here, this is a race of a lifetime. Cannon Barrage doesn't get all the minions. Inhibitor turret looks like it's going to drop here, Clement, with the next wave potentially. No, it's not.
V5 give up an extra kill, but they do take the 2 towers in the top lane to 1 in the bot. So I still think this whole chain of events does favor V5 just by a little bit. You can see that BLG are very aware of the ways they are going to use the Cannon Barrage. I really like this idea because they can clean up split pushing waves without sending anyone there. They can still have the 5v5. So somewhere in the point of this game, you're going to see this happen. BLG is going to use a Cannon Barrage on one of these top lanes, whether it's Nico or whether it's Silas split pushing, and they're going to start the 5v4 on the other end.
Damn, I'll keep my eye out for that, because Cannon Barrage has been used pretty defensively so far from ADD. At this point, I was expecting that turret to go down, so things have calmed down, slowed down a little bit here, but V5 have the gold lead, 17 minutes in the game, and it's been a real tempo game for V5 once again. One they're trying to play their advantage to. They've got 2 items on the Lucian. That's Essence Reaver coming in second. Remember, that just got buffed up to 70 damage again.
Oh, yeah. We're seeing a lot more Essence Reaver, and with that, Lucian's win rate has skyrocketed. Over 67% right now. Very high appearance rate in the LPL, and also a good counter Sivir.
And Mole 1v1 Meteor. I don't think so. Kuro ruins it, you devil. That's a kill on the mid lane again. What's coming up and what time is it? Well, 30 seconds on the death timer. And BLG have the inner track back to the mid lane.
Nothing Mole could do right there. Didn't even try to chance the flash over the thick wall.
Don't do it, Y4. Oh dear, ADD, is he going to 1v1 him? Takes the blast cone out. Y4 at half health after that small engage.
And you can see the entire family is chasing right near it. Now, where's the prowling projectile? I want to see that 80% skill come out.
No. Being very aggressive. In the face of a Nautilus, he wants to bait out the dredge line. Thinks he's quicker on the trigger finger.
I'm surprised by how conservative that was. They could have definitely chased. Mole was not on the map. Still dead.
You know what they want?
They want to save everything for the Drake. Yeah. They're smarter than I am. They're playing things for objectives.
No one's smarter than you, Clement.
Oh, thank you so much.
I mean that.
Oh, that's so touching.
BLG. Go get the drag. No? Okay. On the hunt. Oh, TP is coming. Cancelled. Wendy, no. Here we go again. Down we go again, it seems. The Pop Blossom is going to flash away, but the Prowling Projectile secures the kill. Now for the 5v4, but not in the way we expected. Because look at ADD. Flank barrels incoming. He's silent. He's deadly. He's there. AoE damage, baby. And ADD gets everything right. The Gangplank will drop on down. But for V5, the fight's already over. Meteor gets the burn. Sivir gets the boomerang on the way out. And V5 walk into the pirate ship of Jack Sparrow.
That was such a smart turnaround from BLG. Instantly going on the teleporting member. Wendy didn't have vision inside the blue buff. He was like, I think this is safe. I'm Nico. I can get away with it. Big mistake from him. If there's a game 3, I think we might be seeing Ali's again.
Oh my lord. ADD just popped him in half. And,
yeah.
If we do see Ali's again, if we do go the distance, it's probably a bigger question at this point. Because BLG Clement, it's the old style that we saw in spring, that we saw in game 1. If this goes to 40 minutes, you're very scared at how this could turn out.
I don't think I've seen BLG be outmaneuvered in the LPL. They've been outplayed for sure. There are teams
very
with
big statements.
Yeah, there are teams with great talent like RNG that took him down, EDG as well. Yeah. But you really don't see them getting outmaneuvered much at all. And that was such a good split-second call. The instant they saw the teleport, think about where their position was. They were in the river in front of the Drake. And within that 4.5 seconds, they surrounded the Nico, instantly got her down.
Yeah.
That's just the terrifying point of the Zoomies composition. Just how really fast you can go.
It's also terrifying to see that if Wendy was able to get that Pop Blossom maybe a second or two later, or that teleport was delayed.
They can go now.
Go. Yeah. There we go. Prowling Projectile in the final chapter. Clement, you wanted to see it. Do negate damage, but Meteor just runs into you anyway. B5 have lost their jungler. They're not going to save him. They back away. Now you're left in a bad Baron situation as ADD takes a 1v1 himself. Here we go with the Pop Blossom, but ADD flashes away. Doesn't even flash. What was that? It was a sidestep and a half. Ultimate burn by Wendy, and BLG had the tempo now.
This is what I was talking about. V5 can never show Nico in one of these side lanes. BLG will chase the rest of the composition down, and even if ADD isn't there, he has a cannon barrage to assist with the slow as well. Effectively, they're playing 4.5 versus 4 champions on the top side.
Can V5 get into the Baron pit? ADD takes the full length of the culling. He stands to eat an orange. His final chapter gets returned by Mole into the Baron pit. It's a 28 health.
Oh my god!
By Lucian. Why was that given over? For V5, they need to survive as Wendy gets Mole out of there with a helping hand. And now for Meteor, slowed down by the spooky ghost. They want revenge. They want the Prowling Projectile. And BLG losing the Baron there won't be acceptable, even if they lose the fight here. XinMo has no one but Kuro to go to. Slowed on down, ADD's trying to recover it too. Wendy comes in, gets the slow, but this Nico wants even more. V5 steal the Baron with a Lucian bloody auto attack.
How did that happen? Meteor still had his smite up, didn't manage to get it. Y4 walks away. That's a thank you very much. They should still have 2 Baron buffs on their team. Let's watch it again. It was down so very close. Kuro trying to avoid the ultimate. I felt like he should have tried to play block a little bit more.
He uses a stopwatch. So Meteor uses a stopwatch. Y4 walks in. Either Q, W, auto, it doesn't matter.
It didn't even seem like Y4 was in range. Maybe the Ardent Blaze or the Red Buff? That was an insane steal.
We will ask all of our resources to do a sneaky rewind at some point. Not live in game, of course, but that was a moment and a half, and that keeps V5 firmly in this game. They've got 2 minutes of Baron to play with, and about 3 members to play with it on.
Captain Colonel. The Colonel cannot decide right now. He's going back and forth on that BLG. There was a huge amount of gold going over to Silas as well. 900 gold on that kill. We were talking about how Silas needs a strong point to go and start these game initiations himself. That was a good boost.
Yeah. See if they can find another pick here, because BLG is still in the driver's seat as Ben4 is looking for this Olaf, but they're just straight on the Y4. Look how fast he is, but here comes the Pop Blossom all the way down. Finds 2 and ADD, still in the backside, looking for the damage, but Mole comes in here with the flank, looking for the cannon barrage. He sends it down. Mole trying to carry this fight. 1v4 me, bro. Mole is full health, and BLG are not, but the fight ultimately still goes over to them.
V5 need to learn their lesson. They cannot split push. If they split push, BLG instantly just wipes the floor. They go straight in. They need to have full control of the minion waves, and the way they need to do it is they need to slow push instead of doing the split push. Split push, you open yourself up to 5v4. Slow push, you don't need to be there. You can still stay grouped.
Clement, you're talking about how it would look towards the 5v4 for someone like ADD and how he'd be there with his cannon barrage and following up with the teleport. Well, ADD hasn't even used it. He's just walking along that slow push point as well. Someone like ADD right now is just such a menace in the backside, and then you start that fight. I'm sure we'll have another look at the replay, but Meteor's 10-2-7. That's a 3-item Olaf who just ran at Y4's face. Watch him go. Yeah,
Y4 took the slow initially, and that was just the signal. The entire team collapses. It's happening again.
I love how the replay showed him doing it. Now they're showing it doing him again. Meteor is thrown onto Mole while the rest of V5 are taking their backline access. ADD at full health while Meteor gets the pick off with XinMo. The Nico needs to get back in. Oh, but how is she going? Because Wendy can't find the positioning advantage. Jinjiao finds Max. It's onto Meteor again. Y4 trying to carry this. He flashes on in. But can he survive? Jinjiao still healthy as always. Here comes the Yumi.
He's got the auto.
Oh, the Nyan is on top of Jinjiao. Ben4 is making his return, but Zoomies gives him health. They spot him out. See you later, Punk. To the death with you as well.
Another great start by BLG. They drag the members over. Y4 is not up. They know they have the 5v4. Instant engage up the ramp. And as long as Jinjiao is alive, XinMo can move back between the front line and the back line. It's going to be so hard to actually kill these characters. They had to wait for Olaf to drop his GA, then stand up, then for Y4 back with enough damage to finally pick off a single target. Just way too much investment from V5 to really get these fights going the way they want to.
You can see they're getting so close to these fights, so Clement. That was another one amidst the replay. It was Mole who was face checking.
Instant start, Karma slow with the Prowling projectile. This was really good by Wendy and Max to instantly at least snipe out one champion, but they have no ultimates, no damage left for it. Y4's not in the fight as early as they would like, and this is just what the strength of this composition. If you can collapse yourself onto a single point around these objectives and just wait for the other team to start in face check, you're always going to catch them off guard. You have tremendous burst potential. You're essentially just combining all of your strength into one single point, and it's so deadly. It's like a nail hitting a cardboard box.
You know what the hardest part about that play is? V5 had the Baron, and they've unfortunately thrown it away. That is a light beer if I've ever seen one. 315 is the Baron power play after that. And BLG are back in the lead, back with that almost 4K gold advantage. They had the double mountain before. There is an Infernal coming up next. It's 27 minutes in the game. And Clement, BLG, remember how slow they were in spring? Well, they've definitely speeded up, as I can say, after these two games.
Oh, the game time might be slow, but the way they played is incredibly fast.
The bloodiness is definitely a lot more than spring, I can tell you that. Wendy, ooh, I thought that was the real one. Don't know why.
That was a good bait. They actually got the, oh no, I thought they got the ultimate. She was running so fast on Sivir. I was like, oh, On the Hunt is used.
Wendy's just trying to face check along with that passive. And there we go again. Yumi finds the pick. Pop Blossom down, but against no one. Wendy is going to get deleted by ADD. The barrels of rum have shown up once again. It's Tortuga all over again as V5 send themselves to the backline. Y4 finds one. Ben4 sets up the play, but Kuro's keeping everyone alive. Jinjiao heals again, and this Karma mid is supporting everything. Ball finds one. Finds two. No, because he can't get through Kuro and ADD.
Big team fight for BLG. Once again, V5 underestimate the chasing potential that the Yumi and the Sivir have. Olaf finds his target, chops the Nico down, and there was no ultimate, no Pop Blossom able to slow the rest of BLG down. It looked like Y4 had a little bit of fight, but in the end, could not find the winning team fight.
BLG, clean series, no. But a fun series? Hell yeah. As V5 send out Wendy to do their last bit of dirty work. It's BLG who enter summer with a 2-0.
And I love this composition for BLG. It just fits their style so damn well. You play around the map. Whenever you see the enemy opponent is so inexperienced that they're going to throw a 5v4 in your face, you instantly close down and just run them down. So BLG off to a great start. They found their position in the meta.
Yep.
And once more, I have to say, Silas, blue side first pick.
No!
Please don't do it. It doesn't work.
It's a part of me knew you were going to say that.
It really doesn't.
I mean, that's fair. I'll look at the positives for BLG while we're still on it, though. Yuumi looked decent. I wouldn't say it's our best Yuumi so far in the LPL. However, Kuro and ADD, let's add Meteor in there as well. The top side of the map for BLG looks insanely good coming into summer.
They are definitely on point. Karma, we thought a big issue for BLG was those flex champions. This time around, they actually banned everything out. They weren't actually... They didn't actually face this question, I would say.
Yeah.
But they do have shown that they can play outside of it. I think that's what's important.
I wanted to confirm one thing. Sorry, I was smirking at you for a second there. Meteor's shirt does not have his name on it. You can see in the background because it's been removed. So you're probably right. They're probably getting the new jersey there with the correct spelled name as an update to everyone that was fixed for summer. So as it should be, as their best player in that series should be, would not be surprised if he got MVP again. Although ADD played well, Kuro was ahead early. There's just so many good things to talk about for BLG coming into summer and why their respective top 8 team could actually make playoffs this time.
They're a great concept album.
Yeah.
They have something running through their entire team, a way they want to execute. They follow it to the T. They never make moves that are out of bounds. There was that one Baron play where V5 got the best of them, but you have to understand at what slim margins they actually got that. That was against a Smite when they had no jungle. It was still the correct play from BLG. They do get outplayed sometimes, but you can't outmaneuver them.
Look at the damage on Meteor again. I know ADD did 18k damage at 28 minutes as a gangplank, but look at the Olaf.
17.8. Warrior Olaf to the rescue. We actually saw the game graphs earlier on. Olaf had more gold than either of the solo, all 4 of the solo lanes. So he was able to effectively shut down any split push potential from V5. Mole tried it a couple times. There was always an axe ready to go straight to his face bone to kind of stop that. So V5, I think they need to go back to the drawing board and really figure out which points on the map they want to play around. They had counter picks in the bot side. Didn't really work out. Top side, they seem to be very settled on the Nico. They think this is a core part of their identity. But the mid jungle for me is what I feel like has not really worked the way they want it to yet.
I was going to mention the fact that Mole seems to be the core part of their identity, but the Nico top, has been persistent throughout multiple series so far. For V5, there's not really a question for me. It's more of a statement that I think this is about them pushing towards, the end of the split. At the moment, still getting their core identity together of their compositions, rather, but it still seems to revolve around Mole in that game especially. I mean, the Silas was at a close point to taking over.
Yeah, it was a lot of close moments where it's about the 4v5, 1v4. We thought there might be some highlights happening. If you had an extra Kingslayer, maybe you could have finished off something. But wasn't really to happen. And I think the key thing that you're looking for, looking at a V5 is still a team that has actually shown they have the potential to fight with the rest of the LPL teams. They're not an LDL level team like we expect them to be, but the general macro play is still a bit lacking. I think the teleport around during the Drake and then showing multiple 4v5s where they weren't aware of how fast BLG could close in on them was a big detriment to them. This is an experience I think only one time is enough to teach them the lesson, and they will play better in the future. But there's a lot of kinks they need to soothe through, and there's going to be a lot of growing pains.
It's not a team I'd instantly discount coming into or dismiss rather, coming into summer. So excited for the prospect that could be V5 in the future of summer. But for BLG right now, if this is their future, I'm very excited. Bloodiness looks like it's gone up just that extra margin.
Yeah.
Meteor looks very comfortable once again. And Kuro and ADD performing out of the mud. It's not like Jinjiao and XinMo aren't still good, but there's so much priority in that series for ADD and Kuro.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the big things we were looking at BLG is what strong point were they actually going to play around the map? Because BLG was a team that had a very slow start, and if you look at the top teams in the LPL, that's not a viable strategy. They're going to crack down on one of your lanes super hard, whether it be the Shy or whether it be Uzi in the bot lane. That's going to happen. So what's the strong point on the map that BLG is going to present to themselves? Now, what they've brought out, what they've shown is in this meta, they can do Meteor, they can do mid jungle quite well, and that's I think the biggest takeaway right there in this series for me is that if they want to find a strong point in the map if they want to capitalize it and have this just one lane where they're guaranteed to win through, it will be Kuro and the likes of Meteor. Meteor was a rookie this split, so to see him actually jump up like this in his performance and be able to be that consistent strong point for BLG is a very good sign for BLG's future development.
So where does this go from here? Because for me, BLG still, as we've said many times tonight, classified by their Korean style of League of Legends. You know, longer paced games, bigger team fights towards the later portions, and of course a lot more priority around vision. So where does this go from here? Like, is there more priority towards Kuro in the future? Is this same level of consistent play coming out? I just want some of your insight as to how they look in a 10-11 week perspective of summer.
So I think they're going to be very similar. The big test for BLG is, can they survive those teams with very strong solo lanes? Now, we did see BLG play in the NEST tournament, and WE's B team was able to get multiple solo kills on their solo lanes.
That was fun, yeah.
Yes, so that's always been the biggest problem. In terms of 5v5 team play, BLG are one of the best the LPL has to offer. But if you break them down into individual parts, then I don't think any of their lanes ranks top 5. I don't think any single one of their lanes you go like, oh, this is instantly one of the best players.
You'd be like, maybe Kuro mid gets there.
Yeah, maybe Kuro.
Jinjiao starting to get there.
But Kuro does play very much outside of the meta. He doesn't dabble in the flexes, which is going to be a big issue when it comes to playoffs, when you have to ban them all yourself.
We didn't really see that this series as well.
No, so that question mark is still there. And the way that I would be very confident in BLG in the future is if they can get over teams like FPX, like IG, like
that really
TES.
Play on these flexes.
Yes, that really you thrive on these flexes and really hammer home the solo lanes.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem, I think, for BLG. And if they can get over that, they can beat those teams, then they have a very, very high ceiling. And remember, Team Liquid beat IG in a 3-1 series. They play very similar to Team Liquid. I think they're better. Yeah.
I'm definitely in that series. And now, especially RNG are starting to play on the flexes from what little we saw as well. And RNG starting to dabble a little bit more. A traditional team fighting team that maybe could be closely related to BLG in some aspect. So it's not like they're going to get through, you know, the patches without playing through the flexes. Unique style's always good, but at the moment, 9.10, 9.11, we still expect the same thing. So BLG, you know, productivity. But Coach Sim, you got to give it to him. I mean, these drafts just pinpoint, even though maybe not as many flexes would like, still just simple from BLG.
They need a couple of compositions that they can switch towards on the fly. So last split, they had a very strong 1-3-1 composition where it was Lissandra on the side lanes and Nocturne to close in for individual kills. They snowballed that super well. They had the same concept with the Camille and the and the Scion trying to do those hard engages and just catching people off guard. There's this very similar vein here. It's that they try to play team fights with superior numbers. That's always like the basic strategy for them. So lane priority is very important. They don't try to go for early contests, and they try to overwhelm you by making the correct map plays. But the question really is, does the meta offer them enough tools to fill out similar compositions? That's the big thing that we're looking for. If there's only this one comp, it's still very fragile. Now, V5 didn't do the rest of the LPL any favors because they got to play the same composition basically. Yeah. So the question for me is, can they still have enough picks to substitute in this general framework of running people down, of playing with lane priority into uneven number team fights?
Yep.
If that's the structure they want to work with, they need to diversify the picks that they have, and that's going to be that's going to determine how their ceiling is going to look.
Hopefully that development from coaching staff, managerial staff as well comes early this split. Week 2 already, need to start developing quick smarts, because that series is a good estimate of how things could turn out of balance. And speaking of out of balance, Clement, I'm not happy about this one. It'll be XinMo with MVP from BLG. I think he was good. Don't get me wrong. But that's what Yumi does. Gets a bucket load of assists. There was a good couple of final chapters. But man,
she didn't even have to decide where to shoot the final chapter. Like someone ran.
I was upset he was detached. So you're not going to get any love out of me. But I mean, Vision score 61, a 28-minute game. Hey, that's not half bad.
To be fair, it's going to be very hard for Yumi to win MVPs. I think it's going to be very hard. Without positioning, it's going to be very hard. You have a point and click. That's easy.
Yeah, easy kill.
Like
easy
the Olaf is actually deciding where you shoot your ultimate. He's half of the equation.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I
mean,
would have given
that's
to
when you
Meteor, but
jump
that's fine,
off
that's
and
fine.
jump to someone else, so you can reposition.
Yeah. Maybe
I mean, it's great. Like, this was his debut series, debut LPL split. So it's good to see that this prowess comes into a team like that. Morgana game 1, I think, had some very stellar moments. This game as well, to be fair, had some very stellar moments. So there's some prospects for XinMo. See if they run him in the future or if we just run back to Mini.
Yeah, XinMo is a fun name. I have some bad news for you.
What?
Mini actually retired. He's no longer on the roster.
Did he?
Yes.
No one told me that. I look at my sheet of paper down there.
Sorry,
and for some reason
I just
it
need
says
to
Mini.
break that up to. Really, it does.
Maybe it does.
Oh,
don't look
okay.
at
We'll check.
If I'm
later.
wrong,
We'll
I don't
check.
want you to say
If I'm
on
wrong,
air.
I'm like.
No.
Sorry.
If I'm wrong, I don't want you to show me on air.
Okay. That would be a bit awkward. But XinMo, I do expect him to take over the starting position for what we've seen. Very interesting thing about his name. His name means devil in the heart, which actually means mental block. So it could mean he could create a mental block for his opponents, or he could have a mental block himself. I love
Good
names
old
that
LPL.
are like, you know, two ways.
Of course, Kind's still on that roster,
Yep.
so still support sub on there. Maybe this might give you. Don't pull it out now, Clement. We're going to go to a break before he starts looking at this. We'll be back with LNG JDD coming up in about 5 minutes or so as we welcome you to, as far as I know, it's Zhongjing. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LPL. See you soon.